The wait is over. Pokemon Champions is finally here, and before you jump into a single battle, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know to start your climb off right. I'm Zane, aka Direwolf. Let's dive in. First things first, we need to talk about VP, the centralizing currency in Pokemon Champions. From recruiting and training Pokemon, buying held items, and even customizing your character, VP is the currency to pay for all of these. So knowing how to ration it appropriately in the early stages of the game is going to be key to your success. Before you do anything, regardless if you're new to the Pokemon franchise or a veteran player of 30 years, you need to do the tutorials. They're a great learning tool for anyone new, but most importantly, they give you free rewards, including 10,000 VP, 8 Megastones, and even recruitment tickets to recruit even more Pokemon to your team. This is going to set you up to play a pretty diverse set of Pokemon even if you don't have access to Pokemon Home. Now that you've completed the tutorials, it's time to put together your team. There are only 5 types of items available in the shop currently: the type boosting items, the type resistance berries, Megastones, the scope lens, and the light ball. Making sure you outfit your Pokemon with the right items is less vital now than usual because we're pretty limited to mostly B tier items outside of the Megastones. The game will start you off with a handful of items including the Citrus Berry, Focus Sash, and Choice Scarf, items that find themselves on most competitive teams. So outside of wanting to run Pikachu, you shouldn't need to spend VP on held items right out of the gate. Instead, focus your first VP purchases on the Mega Stone or stones you most want to play with, and the rest towards your Pokemon. Any leftovers can be spent on character customization like I did, because I absolutely hated the default appearance of my character and I was not going to look at that any longer than I had to. Once you've recruited your Pokemon and have the right items, the last thing to do is train them. This can be incredibly expensive on your VP, so I encourage you to only train a handful of Pokemon inside of Pokemon Champions to start. If you have Pokemon Home and can train them in Scarlet and Violet before moving them over, you're going to save yourself a lot of VP. Unfortunately, if you're pulling most of your Pokemon from Legends ZA like I did, there is no way to choose your moves prior to depositing them into the game, so you will have to spend at least some VP adjusting their moves, and this is where we get into tickets. If you paid the $7 for the starter pack or paid for the monthly membership or battle pass, you have access to training tickets. These training tickets can fully train one Pokemon, stats, nature, moves, and ability, all for a single ticket. This would normally cost you well over 2,000 VP, which is the same cost as a Megastone. So if you have access to these tickets, I definitely encourage you to use them early and often when building your team so you can spend most of your VP filling out the Megastones you actually want to play with, giving you the most flexibility in your team building going forward. In addition to training tickets, there are a couple free to earn tickets you can collect through missions in addition to the tutorial: quick coupons and teammate tickets. Quick coupons allow you to speed up the timer at Kit's Ranch to unlock another set of 10 recruitable Pokemon, which can then be permanently added to your team with a teammate ticket. Again, this is an expensive process through VP, so make sure you spend your tickets first when filling out your team so you can dedicate your VP where you need it most. The last way to add Pokemon to your team is through Pokemon Home, which I've mentioned a couple of times, but to do that, you simply need to add your Pokemon into Pokemon Home and then select the Link to Pokemon Champions button at the bottom right. Once you've done that, head into the recruitment tab and select Collect from Pokemon Home. That's it. You now have up to 30 trained and ready to battle Pokemon at your disposal for absolutely free. There are a handful of Pokemon you should bring over regardless of whether you plan to use them, and those are Greninja, Delphox, Chestnut, and Eternal Flower Floette. Transferring any of these automatically rewards you with their Megastone for free. Outside of these 4, only bring over the Pokemon you're actually interested in using since you're capped at 30 from home. And keep in mind that caveat from earlier that Pokemon coming from Legends ZA will need more adjustments once they're in the game, so prioritize moving from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet if you can. Between your tutorial rewards, these 4 transfers, and after a single battle on the Battle Pass, you get to unlock Dragonite, leaving you with 13 total Megastones for free before spending any of your VP. And that brings us into the rest of the Megastones that are available in the game. So with only one battle under your belt, including the tutorials, you now have access to Mega Garchomp, Mega Beedrill, Mega Gyarados, Mega Steelix, Mega Heracross, Mega Aggron, Mega Manectric, Mega Abomasnow, Mega Greninja, Mega Delphox, Mega Chestnut, Mega Floette, and Mega Dragonite. The shop contains the remaining 46 Megastones, which I will throw on the screen so you don't have to listen to me reading through all of those. But most notably, if you bought the Premium Battle Pass, Mega Emboar and Mega Feraligatr are available in the Premium Pass. Mega Meganium is available to everyone for free. So do not buy these here. They are available in the shop, but do not spend your VP on these items because that is 6,000 VP essentially wasted. Save that for something else that you will actually need. And now all that's left to do is to go battle and win with your favorites. And I do mean win with your favorites, because Pokemon Champions implemented a Pokemon specific achievement section. Winning 10, 50, or 100 battles with a particular Pokemon is going to reward you with a title as well as a badge for that Pokemon. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty bummed Mega Raichu didn't make the cut for this wave of Pokemon Champions Mega Evolutions, but let me know in the comments below which one you're most excited for that I should be covering in a future video, and let me know any other questions you have going into Pokemon Champions and what I can do to help you have the best time becoming champion. See you in the next one.